Now let's test out a few budget products to see if they perform as well as advertised. First up is a knife sharpener. All right guys, today we're gonna test out the Ruxin knife sharpener. This thing has been all over the internet and I had to give it a try. So I've got an old kitchen knife here. It is not at all sharp. I won't cut paper. It's pretty dull. So let's put this thing to the test today. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do here is I'm gonna lock this knife in here. I'm gonna give this, actually I'm gonna spin this over first. That's another trick to this thing, is there's a top and a bottom. So we're gonna come in here and then lock this blade down. Now the next thing we're gonna do here is, after I've assembled this, I've got 3 different stones that I've picked out because this thing's pretty beat up. So I'm gonna start down with a 120 grit. Don't do this unless you've got a knife that is in that bad a shape. You probably wanna start at 600 on something that's gonna be a lot more, you know, a lot nicer that you've taken care of. This one's been abused. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from 120 to 400 to 600 to start here, and then we'll test it and put like a 1500 grit stone on it. This is what does the sharpening for us. So the first thing is, I got a little oil here, and I'm gonna just get this stone nice and wet. I like to take a Sharpie and go across the edge of the blade. Don't worry, you're not gonna hurt the knife, it'll wipe off. But I like to go across here and just kind of see what I'm hitting. I'm by no means a professional knife sharpener, but that's how I can tell where I'm taking material off and I'm not messing the edge up. So that's probably good enough right there. And so you hold on to the handle here. Again, you're working with the blade, so be very careful. And now, get this out of the way here, spin that around. Now we're just gonna go across this and just sharpen the blade with this. Tell that I'm hitting the edge there. All right, before I go to another higher grade here, I'm just gonna play with this for a second. Let's just take it out and test it and see how sharp we're getting. Are we any better? Oh, I'm making it through the paper this time. All right, you know, I'm gonna give this thing 4 out of 5 stars. By the time I get through all the different sharpening techniques on there, it's gonna work pretty well, and I do like the consistency on the blade. I think this is worth the money. Not a bad one. Anytime you're doing a project, a nail or screw can get away from you and end up in a tire or a shoe. I can tell you from experience. I found a magnetic floor sweeper online that can keep me out of the tire store. Let's see how it works. Hey guys, today we're gonna test out this magnetic sweeper. This is basically meant to pick up all those nuts, bolts, screws, nails off the ground out there. And it's great when you're tackling projects around the house because those things get pretty wild. You'll drop them around and then you can't find them except for that tire. So let's see if we can test this thing out. I got a whole mix of different sizes here, from little tiny washers to roofing nails, even a saw blade. Let's test this thing out. That's pretty impressive, actually. All right, guys, this works really well on the table. Let's go outside and see how it works in the real world on the driveway. All right, let's see how this works in the real world. All right, that's pretty impressive. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 stars. That's gonna keep me out of the tire store.